again, and welcome to another review. This is a random review before I see Spider-Man in a couple of days. This is the 1977 overlong, but well-made movie, New York, New York, starring Liza Minnelli and Robert De Niro. Now, there are some good things in the movie. This is not just a rant for 3 hours. The film has great musical numbers. Like Liza's singing is excellent. Robert De Niro's saxophone playing is great. The acting is really good. I can say that. It's a Scorsese movie. The acting is usually going to be spectacular. The film looks great. It's not. The movie has a lot of great production value. The sets and the lights and everything looks great, and it does represent New York really well. But the film has some issues. One is the freaking overlong running time. This movie is, without the end credits, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Give me a minute. I need to think. Scorsese thought that back in the 70s that he will make an almost 3 hour movie and people will watch it. I'm sorry, Scorsese. This film needed to be an hour shorter. Like the Snyder Cut, this movie does not need this long. It's like the first hour of the movie is basically just Robert De Niro the whole time he's pursuing this woman. And I'm like, if this was made today, the woman would tell him to fuck off and he would leave. Because nowadays you can't harass a woman and keep saying, "Would you go out with me? Would you go out with me? Would you go out with me? Would you go out with me?" It just goes on for 20 minutes in the beginning of the film. And I'm like, we get it, De Niro. You can act. We get it. But I don't want to see you, you know, pursuing a woman this long. I'm like, get it. She said no, leave. There are over 40 billion vaginas in this world. You can find another one. Hell, Robert De Niro married a black woman many years ago, and he's in a happy marriage. Liza's had 4 marriages, and they all failed. I'm sorry. I feel bad for her, but in this movie, yeah, like the reason their marriage falls apart, which I don't want to see that in a movie. I've seen it before, guys, or I've seen abuse in other movies. Where like in I saw some of A Streetcar Named Desire where the Marlon Brando's beating the hell out of his girlfriend, and then he wonders why she wants to leave him. I'm like, yeah, because girls don't want to be hit, you dumbass. And that's the thing about Robert De Niro's character. He's not likable here. He's an asshole throughout the entire movie. It's about him, his needs, his freaking attention. It's all about him. And I'm like, I get it, De Niro. You're a big actor. You're a legend. You and Liza Minnelli are living legends that will live on past your death. But this movie's just, it didn't need to drag ass with how much time it is. And the movie starts in VJ Day, in 1945, where a New York nightclub is underway and they're celebrating the end of the war, of World War II, beating the Japanese and everything. And yeah, it worked. That worked, but the film is just stretched out. You could have easily made this movie 2 hours even. The four extra 40 minutes are not needed. This and Eternals are two of the longest films I saw this year, and they did not need to be this long. That was 2 hours and 30 minutes. This is 2 hours and 40. Other than Liza's musical numbers, a lot of the stuff in the beginning could have been cut in half. And there's no it's not like there's character development because the main characters that are developed are Liza, Robert De Niro, and a couple of side characters that are like in the movie for a little bit. But it's not enough. Like you needed a shorter running time. It's just too freaking long. It's one of Scorsese's longest films before he did The Irishman. Because Taxi Driver was only an hour and 40 some minutes. It was not 2 hours long. And the film was a disappointment at the reception. It says the disappointing reception drove Scorsese into depression and drugs. Yeah, you think? After this movie, I wanted to be stoned so I could get through the rest of the day. um, it says, yeah, in Peter Biskin's book Easy Riders, Raging Bulls is reported that Scorsese's addiction to cocaine and complete lack of control over improvisation of dialogue on the set were major factors that contributed to the failure of the film. Exactly. Don't do drugs, kids. This is a PSA for any of my friends out there. Don't use drugs. Don't abuse drugs. Don't touch it because it will mess you up. It will ruin your career. It's a miracle that Scorsese has been a director for this long without collapsing. I never used cocaine in my life or any recreational drugs because they mess up your brain. And I need the few brain cells left that I have from the past 2 years to keep going in 2022. But yeah, in the introduction to the DVD release in 2005, it's not this one. This is the re-release. Scorsese explains that they intended the film as a break from gritty realism for which he had become famous and see as an homage to musical films, the classic Hollywood. But here's the thing, Scorsese, The Wizard of Oz, Singing in the Rain are not 3 hours long. You're trying to do like a Sound of Music, which I'm sorry, that movie also did not need to be 2 hours and 55 minutes. We get it. The star can sing. It doesn't mean I need to sit there for almost as long as a Broadway show to get through it. It's just too long. It is way too long. I don't have the patience to sit through a 3 hour movie anymore. Endgame was the very last time for a while. And with Spider-Man, I'm going to give him my attention, but good God, if there are any scenes that could have been cut, I will say it on my review in a few days. But yeah, this movie's just too long. His dark and gritty stuff may be not for everyone. It's divisive, but it's not 3 hours long. Mean Streets was way shorter than this. And Taxi Driver, way shorter. It was not 2.5 hours or 2 hours and 40 minutes. For this reason, he designed the film's set and storyline to be deliberately artificial looking. He acknowledges that it is an experiment that did not please everybody. You're damn right it didn't. People didn't go see this movie. They went to see Liza sing, but I could hear the soundtrack of this movie to hear her sing. I don't need to see a almost 3 hour movie. The Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 58%, almost the same as Eternals. Marcel Scorsese's technical virtuosity and Liza Minnelli's magnetic presence are on full display in New York, New York. Yes, they are. Although this ambitious musical blend of swooning style and hard-button realism makes for a queasy mixture, yeah, it's long. It's overlong, and it's paced slow, and it's a story I've seen done better. Before this movie, Cabaret is a better movie than this, and Cabaret was not 3 hours long. How long was Cabaret, the 70s version? The same thing Liza did in the same decade with Michael York. 1972. That was 2 hours and 4 minutes. See, a lot shorter. It felt like 90 minutes compared to this. And that was done by Bob Fosse. He did a better job. That's a musical that knows what it is, and it did not need to be overlong. 2 hours and 4 minutes, that's all you need. You don't need the extra 30 minutes of drama. I'm gonna beat you in the car. No, I don't need to see that. I know my friend hates all abuse in films, so don't see this movie, Josh. If you don't want to see De Niro getting tough with a woman, yeah, this isn't the film for you. He doesn't beat her up like a madman, like the Joker does to Harley Quinn, but there's that scene in the taxi cab where he's trying to grab her, it's a little bit uncomfortable, and this movie would not be remade today. You're not gonna see Lady Gaga in a remake of this with the abuse and all that. No, with women's rights now, you can't do this film today. You cannot. You can sing the songs, but the dark material, the darker tone of the musical, just because this is a PG doesn't mean it's for kids. Oh God, no. The thematic elements in this movie are going to scare parents away. But if you want to see the movie once, fast forward some of the scenes in the beginning. It's just not worth it. It's too freaking long. And the songs are great. You can hear them on YouTube for free. You don't need to sit through 2 hours more of the movie to get that. I've seen this, and this is a little too long. It is long. It's too long, Josh. It's way too long. And the fact that this movie it's got one of the best songs of all time in a film, New York, New York. But I've heard it in other films. It was in Gremlins 2, and that movie was not 2 hours long. It was they did a rendition of it in Santa Claus 3. They sang it in I think in a freaking Gene Kelly movie, I believe. They did kind of a song in On the Town. They did a song about New York. It's different than this, but it's similar. But they have sung this song in many other movies, and they're way shorter. But yeah, I would not watch this again. This, it's a one watch for me. It's too long. Scorsese knows what he's doing with the actors, but it's just period pieces don't need to be 3 hours, guys. I don't have the patience for that. That's why I didn't see The Irishman, because it's a 3 hour movie with like in 4 different eras, and having the movie be that long, I just get bored. That's why Cruella I skipped it this year. It's too freaking long. 2 hours and 17 minutes to do a prequel to one of the best Disney villains. No, short and sweet is where it's at. This movie is not short and sweet. I knew what I was getting into, but good God, it's way too long. And tell me what you think if you've seen the movie already. But Scorsese, never do a musical again, please, because this movie what next? You're going to make a 3.5 hour remake of this? No, I don't need to see it. It's one and done. Liza's great, but I could see her in Cabaret or anything else that she's done that's a lot shorter. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Enjoy your week, and I will be the next review is going to be Spider-Man: No Way Home. No spoilers, just what I thought about the film, my negatives, any if I have any, and what I thought. And after that, I'm going to do my best and worst of the year, like 2 days later. So see you in the next video, guys. Bye.